Hello, my name's Ian Hasty. I'm from Companion Brands and I manage the 4x4 equipped range of products. Today I'd like to introduce you to the new 3 metre safety flagpole. Before I go into the detailed description of the pole itself, I just want to briefly talk about why we need a safety flagpole. The main reason is obviously for safety. When you're crossing the Simpson Desert or coastal area, sand dunes, it's really advisable to have a safety flagpole so you can actually be seen by other vehicles. There's also now a requirement which was introduced in early 2014 from the South Australian Government. It is mandatory to have a safety flagpole mounted to your vehicle before crossing the Simpson Desert. There's no other regulations around the Australian continent other than Portland. If you were to use a sand flag down there, it's 4 metres from the ground, but you need to be part of a club to be able to drive down there. So the regulations for South Australia is it must be minimum of 3.5 metres from the ground. So that a good design sand flag needs to remain perpendicular to the vehicle when going up a sand dune. So I use South Australia Simpson Desert as an example. It's a single track, you've got vehicles in both directions travelling on the single track. So if you're going over a sand dune, potentially you'll meet another vehicle coming the other way. So having a sand flag that is reasonably perpendicular will actually be seen by others coming from the other way. Other sand flags on the market are actually quite whippy. So if you visualise you're going up a sand dune, the flag itself comes back towards the windscreen. So it defeats the purpose of really having a sand flag there at all. It really needs to stay perpendicular as you're going up the sand dune itself. Our new safety flagpole has a new design quick release coupling. It's two halves to it. You've got the main spigot, which is bolted to the flat part of the bar itself on a rigid surface. It's also got the coupling part, which has got a pull-out sleeve. They join together and they lock in place. It's non-rotational. What we recommend is to mount it onto the driver's side. The reason for that is if you're going up a sand dune, using the scenario that I used before, is that if you're going up a single track and you have it mounted onto the driver's side, if you see a flag coming towards you or they see a flag, your flag going towards them, your natural reaction is to take evasive action in an emergency to swerve to the left. If you swerve to the left, you've still got that potential of missing each other if it's mounted on the driver's side. If it's mounted on the left-hand side, you can still collide. So even though there's no written rule about where to mount it, ideally is on the driver's side if you can. But it needs to be fairly in a rigid position, preferably flat. We don't recommend to mount them onto the antenna bracket. It's simply not strong enough for the length of the pole itself. So the pole itself, I'll just take this one off just to show you how it all goes together. You simply pull back the collar and simply slide it off itself. Some of the other flagpoles in the market use 12mm, so that's where they get the whippiness from. There's no rigidity at the base of the pole. So we use a 20mm fiberglass tube at the bottom. In the middle we use a 15mm fiberglass, and at the top section we also use a 15mm fiberglass. So that'll still give you a little bit of whip, just to give you that sort of, wave the flag that I'm here. Also gives you the rigidity. The top section of the flag has a unique little plastic clip on the end here, which houses the safety flag itself. What that does is, if connected correctly using the cable ties, it'll give you a 360-degree rotation of the flag. The other flag poles on the market, they cable tie the flag to the pole directly, so it's actually done up tight. The flag itself can actually wrap around the pole like that and basically not be seen. So to take the pole down itself, you simply pull the connections apart. They're held together with a elastic shock cord. They're anodised aluminium joining sleeves. You can simply fold it down, pull the other section out, and you've got yourself 1 metre, easy to store. It actually comes with a storage bag as well, and easy to fit inside the vehicle. Now to put the pole back up, it's simply just the reverse as what I did before. It'll guide itself automatically into the aluminium sleeves. You put the sections together, so it's one unit. You can then position it over the spigot. You can pull back the retaining collar and drop it down and just rotate it slightly till the little ball bearings fall into place. It locks into place itself. The unique feature with the quick release coupling, it's actually lockable. Simply just get your padlock, put it through the hole, and you can actually lock it off. And by that, it just certainly deters any potential theft. Our new 3 metre safety flagpole. Thanks very much for your time.